To all who come to this happy place, welcome to another episode of Gettin Goofy Radio. I'm Stephen Bell, along with my co-host,
Eric Kushel. How's it going, man?
the one and only. It's going
I
well.
feel like this
How
has
are you?
become my thing. Like, oh, hey. Like, I get surprised that you're calling me first.
That's what we need to do. We need to make Disney annual pass stickers for Gettin Goofy Radio, and the logo isn't goofy. It's just the silhouette of this. It's like it's good or what's
hey,
going on. Or hey,
welcome. How's it going? It's like I'm surprised that you calling me first. Like, there's other people out there.
I didn't expect you to be here.
Like, hey, coincidence seeing you here, bro. You come here often?
Only to talk about Disney.
Yeah, man. It's been too long. We had a week off because some family stuff, but we're back and ready to rock. How you?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot going on the past couple weeks, and we didn't have any pre-recorded episodes, so we weren't able to fill you in on your fill of Gettin Goofy Radio last Sunday. We hope that's not a common occurrence. We do film ahead of time sometimes, so when that happens, but we've had a run of priority items, and we just got to make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our family, even as we get to the end of this COVID period. Obviously, there are other things, bigger picture things going on in the world with more recent news, so we're obviously sensitive to that as well.
Yeah, you said it. There's a lot going on that we have to prioritize and make sure those that we care about most are taken care of, and the other priorities as well out there. So yeah, a lot bigger things to worry about. But that being said, we are here.
Probably like number, we're not, I'm not getting too far. When I talk about Disney World being a priority in my life, it's not like number 37 on the list. We've got like family, we've got work,
social issues.
That pretty much does it.
But that all being said, there's with all that's going on in the world, we nothing brightens my day than hopping on here and talking to you about Disney. I mean, there's nothing like it for me, and we hope that maybe we can bring a little information or a little joy or whatever it may be to you guys at home as well.
Yeah, definitely. Really, it's just our opinions that we sprinkle with a little bit of information, and hopefully it gets in there for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we're not the breaking news source out there, but maybe someday. But for now, what we want to do for you is just bring a little joy, some opinion, and maybe some back and forth on the most magical place in the world.
Let's do it. What are we talking about today, whatever it is?
What depending when you're listening or watching. But what I decided for us today was, we always, essentially all conversations lead back to whether it's resorts or the food or whatever. You can, as soon as you talk Disney, it's not just the rides, it's the whole atmosphere and everything that comes along with it. And one of those things that brings the most joy to me, and I know the same can be said to you, Stephen, is the resorts. The resorts, there's Ritz-Carltons, there's Hiltons, there's amazing hotels all around the world. But something about a Disney resort, they do it so well. They make you not want to leave. They make you not want to go to the park sometimes because there's so much to do. They're always entertaining. The food's top notch. It's something awesome. So a conversation that I feel like needs to be had is our top threes.
Yes.
I think they're going to be a little bit different. When we haven't previously discussed this, I think I can. I wrote down my three, and I wrote down what I think your three are going to be. So I'm gonna go out on a little leap here and say I think I can call your three, but I'm also hoping for a couple surprises.
Yeah, maybe. Doubt it. Maybe.
Yeah. So what I thought I'd do for the people was we start at the bottom. We rank our top three hotels with, this isn't a draft by any means. Maybe we agree, maybe we don't, but you tell me, I'll tell you my top three starting from the bottom. You tell me yours, and then we'll go there and we'll end with our favorite resorts on property. How's that sound?
All right, let's do it.
Cool. Well, I say we jump right into it. Maybe this is a short and sweet episode, but these resorts have a lot to talk about. So That being said, Steph and I are now going to talk about our favorite 3 resorts, and I'll kick it off right away. I don't think this comes as any surprise, especially knowing where we plan on staying, hopefully this time next month. The Yacht and Beach Club. Yacht and Beach Club to me is it at any given time it could be tour the top spot at Walt Disney World.
The Storm Along Bay deserves its own theme song.
Yes, I could totally see Aerosmith just rocking out to a Storm Along Bay jam.
Or just like Pirates. I mean, they can make that Pirates of the Caribbean easy. I bet. You know what? We'll just do it. We'll theme it ourselves when we go in July.
So not only is it the
Tell
best
me what
pool,
you like. Tell me what you like.
Not only is the best pool on property, that kind of goes without being
Not
said.
even close. Not even close.
Lazy river, water slide, sand bottom. Ducks in the pool sometimes.
And what about that little cyclone? When you get off the slide, and if you don't exit that side of the pool and you go to the other side where you exit, there's a little cyclone that circles around from the current. It's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not even sure if it's like a design flaw or that's like a part of the design of the pool. It's something that's really cool there. Hurricane Hannah's right there. The pool bar at Storm Along Bay is, to me, one of the most inviting pool bars on property. You have a beautiful view of the lake. You get to see Epcot. You get to see the boardwalk. There's, it's a very reminiscent lighthouse like you would have in Cape Cod. It's something like it comes right out of Cape Cod. It's awesome. So not just the pool bar, not just that, but then you start talking about the dining. You have Beaches and Cream, which is an incredible restaurant. If you haven't had it, you gotta. The new revamp isn't my favorite because it's more like a restaurant now. Before it was a lot more like a diner, real small. You can order milkshakes at the bar. Very good loaded fries, burgers, patty melts, kind of just diner, classic food. Awesome restaurant. But then you go in even deeper and you get the restaurants inside the yacht club. Incredible service there. And the Yachtsman, to me, the best steakhouse on property. Le Cellier has its days and its arguments. It has its arguments, but the Yachtsman, to me, my wife and I had our honeymoon dinner there years ago, and it was incredible. And we talk about that meal all the time.
And we say that we haven't been to some of the steakhouses at Disney Springs, but based on the quality of the food of the Yachtsman, we know it would stand up. So we can boldly say it's one of the best on property.
At the time of filming, it is my favorite steakhouse on property. The location to the proximity to Epcot, undeniably the closest resort to any park on Disney. It's unreal. So pair together the pool, the food, the rooms that are awesome, the view, the proximity. To me, it's a no-brainer. Top 3 property, a resort on property.
I mean, depending on when you leave, you could be resort property gate to beer in less than 8 minutes.
You could be from club level beer to beer in less than 8 minutes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you catch? I'm sorry, my technology seems to be failing me, and I messed up there at the beginning. We were talking about Storm Along Bay. Did you catch the part I was talking about when you come off the slide and we have all the clues of the pool and the little cyclone swirl? Have you ever done that? It's so cool.
I did. So I wasn't sure if it was a design ingenuity or a flaw.
Oh, it's Disney. They engineered that thing.
So I've gotten stuck in that little cyclone. It's pretty wild. It's a neat little feature. So it got into Hurricane Hannah's and the proximity to everything else. To me, it's easy the top 3 resort, and that's where I have in my my 3rd spot.
It's a great resort. Cannot deny that. During the summer, for some crazy reason, it's got the best pool on property, and for some crazy reason that we get one of the better Florida rates throughout the year there. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'll take it. Because I always, being a Florida resident and also a pass holder, we go back and forth on what's the better rate, whether it's Florida resident versus pass holder. We just take advantage of whatever's the best one. And for some reason, the yacht club always, at least the last 3 or 4 years, always runs one of the better deals when you get into the hot summer months, which is awesome because in the hot summer months, I don't spend much time in the park anyway. I'll go hang out the whole day at Stormalong Bay, walk over to Boardwalk, eat some snacks, and then maybe head into Epcot for dinner. I mean, it's great for us.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I don't get it, and I hope it doesn't change.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let me hop into mine, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I was split between two, and since you took that one, I'm actually thrilled you did. I'm gonna kick it over to the Wilderness Lodge. It's a great building, just an absolutely great building. You feel like you're in the Pacific Northwest with the log cabin. I've never been to the Pacific Northwest, so I'm kind of based on my internet searches. Google told me it's what the Pacific Northwest feels like. It's just a beautiful property. Just like most deluxe properties, there's a quiet pool. There's also obviously an activity pool where they have all the events. They've got this water slide. They've got the water feature, little waterfall. They have the bar right next, and leading me into my favorite hidden gem that we've talked about plenty of times, Geyser Point Bar and Grill. I like that little outdoor restaurant, bar, lounge area so much that right there will make Wilderness Lodge be one of my favorite resorts at Disney for a very long time. So you got that just right there outside. Not to mention some of the detail. One of the things that I think is underappreciated is when you walk out of the back of the Wilderness Lodge to catch a boat to go to either Fort Wilderness or Contemporary or the Magic Kingdom, you step onto a pretty spider webby type boardwalk, and I never really talked about it before, but it's something I always enjoy going on that Wilderness Lodge. Just how awesome the wood walkway is. They could have easily just made that cement and not built that, but they built it to where you feel like you're walking out over a marsh or over the water, and you get to see the geyser actually shoot water off as you're walking on it. Just a really cool feature that I think is underappreciated, not really talked about.
Definitely. It's a detail that a lot of people don't necessarily discuss or even notice. It's a beautiful walkway, and yeah, you walk over, and it's not like a rickety bridge or anything, but it's a nice, like you are like walking through a nature preserve or something, and you see like kind of the mangroves and those trees. Yeah, it really is nice.
I mean, Disney leaves no stone unturned when it comes to details, but at Wilderness Lodge, you even have the creek that comes out of the building where you feel like you're in a creek, something you would do like a little fly fishing for some sort of, trout. Really cool. Also, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm not sure how DVC does it, I know a good bit about DVC, not so much. I think there are 2 DVC properties there.
Yeah.
There's Boulder Creek Villas or whatever it is, and there's also the original DVC that I forgot the name for right now, but it's actually the first DVC. Copper Creek, maybe might be the new one, and Boulder Villas is the old one. Either way, that was the first one we actually ever.
Boulder Ridge and Copper Creek, I think.
There it is. Boulder Ridge is the first one we ever stayed at back in 2010 with my then girlfriend, now wife, when we went and rented DVC points. So 2 DVC properties there, and just really cool. The indoor restaurants are great. The quick service at the Wilderness Lodge is one of the better ones you can find on property. Definitely. And then I've never actually eaten at the sit-down restaurant there, something I've always wanted to make time to do. So I will make time. But Wilderness Lodge, and I'm only really talking about the back of the building. When you drive when you drive into the front of the building, it's just obviously a sight to behold with the, I'm going to call it the world's biggest log cabin. I don't know if it is, but it looks like the world's biggest log cabin. It's very close proximity to the one and only Magic Kingdom. And because it's kind of out of the cut, you don't share a lot of bus or transportation with people. And it gets to parks quickly. So it has a lot going for it. And really just the rooms are great. I could go on and on about the amenities, but I'm going to leave it to the pool being awesome. The restaurant. Why did I just forget it?
Go ahead.
Nope, can't think of it. I already talked about it earlier.
Geyser Point.
Geyser Point. One of those days, folks.
Yeah,
Geyser Point, and then just the details at Wilderness Lodge, I really think are second to none. I think as far as details goes, it may be my favorite Disney property when talking about paying attention to detail. Walking down that long hallway to get to the quick service restaurant, you feel like you're walking along an open kind of boulder or cliff stuff. It's really neat. So if you haven't been there, you go check it out.
Bro, you said it all.
Yeah, I've run out of things to talk about. I could go into those details I talked about a little more and start naming the restaurants, but since it's number 3, I won't get too into my spiel.
And this is our favorite resorts. It's not our favorite resort restaurant conversation.
Yeah, and
so
ask me in 3 weeks, and this list changes, guaranteed.
Exactly. So let's jump into my number 2. I'm gonna go with Animal Kingdom Lodge. Animal Kingdom Lodge is nothing like it. And outside of Africa, I mean, I don't think there's another place in the world where you can get what you can get at Animal Kingdom Lodge in Walt Disney World Resorts.
It's great.
Just the thatch roof. You called Wilderness Lodge the biggest log cabin. I'm willing to bet Animal Kingdom Lodge is the biggest thatch roof in the world. I mean, like, that thing is unreal. That you drive up to that one, I think that's the most grandiose building Disney has to offer. It's beautiful. You walk up right away, you know exactly the theme. There's no question about it. There's drums. There's people. You know, the people introducing themselves to the way right away is just unreal. You walk in, the lobby's just as grandiose and just as wonderful. Some of the best dining on property is there. Boma and Sanaa, both unreal dining options. The pool, incredible. The bars there, awesome.
I mean, we talk about Animal Kingdom Lodge has 2 extravagant pools.
Yeah.
Because there's the Jambo House and Kidani Village.
Yeah.
And there are 2 legitimate pools. So if you're willing to make the walk, you can go to any of the pools. And they both have restaurants there. It's very, very neat.
Yeah, and I only mentioned 2 of the restaurants. I forget the other one. Anyway, there's a third fine dining restaurant on property as well, and then not to mention the animals. You know, if you can afford to get a safari view or savannah view, excuse me, it's well worth the money. Waking up, having a cup of coffee, a Joffrey's coffee in your room, and waking up and seeing zebras and ostriches, and maybe if you're lucky enough to see a giraffe, it's a real cool experience, especially with kiddos. And even not, it's still awesome. Being able to see them when you dine, you know, out by the pool, you see the flamingo pond, and then you can even see, you know, some of the animals out there. The arcade is awesome at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and also just the things they do around the resort, that you can collect beads for every event or every thing you go to. They do a story time. You can go and you get a bead, and you end up making like a real nice souvenir the more things you can go to. So I think you pair all those things together, a lot of it's going to come back to the pool for us. You know, it's a huge pool, awesome bar, awesome dining, the ambiance, and just the look and the feel of Animal Kingdom Lodge. For me, it's an obvious number 2.
It's great. It's a great property. We've spent many times there. It is definitely worth upgrading the Savannah View. Even if you're going for a long time, let's say you're going for more than a couple nights and the Savannah View starts to get kind of expensive, book the Savannah View for 1 or 2 nights and do a check-out, check-in. Sometimes if you get lucky and it's slow season, they might make a magical moment for you and leave you in that Savannah View the whole time.
Very true. We did that. We were checking out of Art of Animation, and we were checking in there, and we got in one. It was awesome.
It's really neat. And my only critique of the Animal Kingdom Lodge is, and it's actually not a critique as much as it's kind of give and take. The hotel is really set up as a strip, so it's a big horseshoe that runs around the Savannah View. And because of that, you only have 2 sides, right? You have the side that doesn't face the Savannah View, and the standard view, and then you have the Savannah View. But because of that, the hotels are very long, and it could take you 10 minutes to walk from the lobby to your room. Like, not exaggerating. They are really, really long hotels. But with that said, the reason they're that long is because they wrap around that Savannah view, so it gives more rooms the opportunity to see either a partial or a full Savannah view. So I totally get it. I'm kind of splitting hairs here, but I would say it is the most inconvenient to get from the lobby to your actual room, and probably
100%.
all of Disney World.
100%. It's almost reminiscent like a Vegas room or something. If you get stuck in one of those rooms down like the MGM Grand, you get off that elevator, you got to walk for what seems like a half a mile. Yeah.
When we were staying at the Palazzo, we went to the Venetian that are connected, and the indoor ceiling, you feel like you're outside. You get lost in that place.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's definitely reminiscent. But
maybe we should make a Vegas day.
There you go. So that's my number 2. What's yours?
I'm gonna head back to another Magic Kingdom resort, and I'm gonna stop off at the Grand Floridian. The Grand Floridian I hold in very high esteem. I think it will ultimately end up always being my number 1. It's not right now, and for reasons I'll explain when I get to my number 1. The Grand Floridian to me it's a nostalgic hotel. You walk in, you feel kind of the bridge between the olden days and today. There's something very charming about walking into the grand lobby that has each level circle around the lobby, to where you can see down into the lobby on the first floor. The piano player. You walk into this, just something about big, beautiful white buildings, the red roof. It just makes you feel like you're honestly on a 5-star vacation, and you're living in the lap of luxury, and you just happen to be at Disney World while you're there.
Totally.
So, great restaurants there. They have more restaurants. They may have more restaurants than most, right? They've got at least 3 sit-down restaurants. One of them being Victoria Albert's.
Yeah, Victoria and Albert's, Narcoossee's.
Gasparilla is it's the quick service. They have a sit down Gasparilla Grill. There's maybe Grand Floridian Cafe is a sit down. Gasparilla Grill is the quick service. So there's Grand Floridian Cafe,
quick service.
Citrico's
and Narcoossee's.
Victoria and Albert's and Narcoossee's. That's 4 sit down restaurants.
4 sit down and a quick service. Yeah.
And they also have 2 pools, both of which have fully functioning food bar locations. So the attraction pool, which may actually be smaller than the non-attraction pool, which is funny, has a bar and a food service. And then they also have it at the larger pool. Not to mention they have a separate and distinct splash pad that's in the shape of the Mad Hatter after Alice in Wonderland, which is a really cool feature. And then obviously overlooking the Seven Seas Lagoon and being so close to Magic Kingdom, you can walk out there and see the fireworks from where the boats launch. Just a really great resort. And not to mention, if you're really in the mood for it and you've been getting yourself nice and tired and sore throughout the time, you can hop by, and that's one of the locations on property that has the spa, and you can get a massage, get a workout in, and then go fill yourself up at one of those fantastic restaurants.
Yeah, and we're kind of forgetting about the Enchanted Rose bar up there too, because they might have food as well. So there's
it's a cool place.
We're talking 8 dining locations now or something like that if you include the pool bars. It really is. I mean, the Grand Floridian, it's unreal. Like you said, you walk in, you think you're in a 5-star resort somewhere, and that someone's going to come and hand you a mimosa and start fanning you off or something, but then you realize you're just in the vacation capital of the world.
Yeah, we went to the Grand Floridian for my daughter's first birthday for 4 nights, and we got to a room and we had requested a crib, and they didn't have the crib for us, so we called, said, hey, could you provide us a crib? And they said, would you mind moving buildings? We have a crib in one of the rooms for you. And, I was a little frustrated. Like, I can't believe this place is making me switch rooms right now. We switched buildings. They had upgraded us to concierge level. We walk in and there's 2 mini dolls with balloons and a welcome party for my daughter's first birthday. Jeez. All right, let's do it. So needless to say, for me, that moment kind of put Grand Floridian in a very high regard for me. So it's going to be hard to get them off that pedestal. Right now, again, they're number 2 for me, because I'll talk about my number 1 soon. But I think ultimately, when we talk about your favorite resort on property, I think years from now, it'll be Grand Floridian again. It's just given me so many good memories. Went there on our first anniversary. Like I just mentioned, my daughter's, so many memorable moments. We had my daughter's cake smash at Grand Floridian. You know, it's just one of those, it's one of those things that I'm never going to shake, and I'm so happy for it. So
Yeah,
not to mention all the good amenities we talked about.
I don't blame you. I mean, it just fell out of my top 3, which I mean, like you said, you ask me next week, this list could easily change. And Lauren and I, or my wife and I, for those of you who don't know, that we had our honeymoon there, and we spent our first part of our honeymoon in the Bahamas, and the next part at the Grand Floridian. And man, we enjoyed Grand Floridian thoroughly. The proximity to the parks, the potential of firework view, and even if you didn't have firework view, it's a quick walk down to the beach there to be able to watch the fireworks. The monorail loop, the bars, the atmosphere, the smell of the Grand Floridian lobby, it's awesome. And then when you throw the holidays in there, it's
the gingerbread house is just amazing.
The gingerbread house is something like nothing like you've ever seen before, and the most luxurious Christmas tree ever. It's probably 100 feet tall, it seems like, and then just decorated just to the nines and beautiful with birds and cages. It's gorgeous.
And not to mention, pro tip, my wife loves this brand called Lilly Pulitzer. A lot of women love Lilly Pulitzer. They sell Lilly Pulitzer.
What is that?
Yeah, right. They sell Lilly Pulitzer at the Grand Floridian. Well, guess what? You can use your annual pass for a discount on Lilly Pulitzer at the Grand Floridian instead of spending ridiculous amounts of money not at the Grand Floridian. It's just fantastic, really.
They got an awesome men's shop in there too, with some like golf gear and stuff. There's some pretty cool stuff in there. And there's another thing. It's right near the entrance to the golf courses as well, or some of the golf courses, which is kind of neat as well.
So I'm 34, going to be 35 next year. I'm pretty sure I'm 1 year away from rocking Mickey Mouse Tommy Bahama shirts every day.
Yeah, listen, I'm this point in my life, that's what I do. This is your boss says, "Hey man, you got to dress more business, more professional." Say, this is me.
Yeah, it's got a collar, doesn't it?
This is what you get.
What do these calf high white socks say to you with my Tommy Bahama shirt? They cost $150. They better be nice.
So what we've got so far is my number 3 being the Yacht and Beach Club, and then followed by Animal Kingdom Lodge. Steven has gone with the I forget your third.
Wilderness Lodge,
followed by the Grand Floridian. So I'm 1 for 2 on my guesses on yours. I had Yacht and Beach. I put it down because you don't make fun of my my handwriting again. So I was wrong there, but I was right on the second one.
Can I guess your number 1, or do you want to do a drum roll and do your thing?
Go ahead. Let me know.
I feel like number 1 for a lot of reasons that you're probably going to get into, and maybe I'm wrong, you're going to shoot me down immediately, is a fantastic resort, the only non-deluxe resort we're going to talk about today, and it's Fort Wilderness.
You're incorrect, but that easily could be my number 1. But my number 1 has to do a lot with it. My number 1 is your number 3, and that would be the Wilderness Lodge.
So I'm glad that I didn't get too into detail.
Well, you talk a lot about it, but like you mentioned, when you first pull up to it, it's incredible. You know, the logs, just the carvings and stuff. You pull right away and you see the buffalo topiaries, and you pull up there. It's awesome. Then when you enter,
silly. Even thinking about it, right? When you pull in to the Wilderness Lodge, not every property is like this. When you pull into Grand Floridian and Polynesian, you're level with the buildings. When you Florida is a flat state. There are no hills. You get into Tallahassee and stuff, you get some hills. Sure. But you pull into Fort Wilderness and your car level is significantly lower than building level. Yeah. So you're looking up driving in, and it sets the stage to make you feel like you're going into an elevated property that is in some sort of mountain range or some sort of hilly area.
I've never really thought about it, and you're right, because not just only do they that, now you think about it, the walk from the parking lot up into the valet loop or to the lobby, it even has different trees. Like it's not, your average palm tree and oak. It's, there's pine trees and there's different trees that you don't see every day in Florida. So they've designed it even to that. And then they have the random footprints. You have bear paws and elk paws and deer prints and buffalo prints. Just like walking around is awesome.
Yeah.
And you mentioned Fort Wilderness, which to me, I don't necessarily call a resort. I easily say it's my favorite campground in the world.
It's the only campground in the world that I'll go to. And I love it. I love it.
So yeah, it's definitely my favorite, probably destination even. But resort, I like more amenities when it comes down to a resort. But the proximity to Fort Wilderness and the walking path, it's less than a mile in between Wilderness Lodge and the back of Hoop-de-Doo Review Building. It's less than a mile, so you can get right there. You can ride a bike. You can, you can walk there very easily. It's very convenient. So I love that. But Geyser Point, we talk about it. Somehow all our conversations point back to Geyser Point based on just how beautiful it is and the quality of the burgers and the food there. Awesome. You mentioned the actual geyser, really cool to see. The splash pad right there by the pool, really awesome. The pool itself is great. The way that it looks like the fountain or the creek goes from the lobby down into the pool is an effect that just is awesome. The outlook over the pool is great. Whispering Canyon, highly underrated restaurant in my opinion. I'll take that over Chef Mickey's any day. And that's probably sacrilegious almost, but I love me some Whispering Canyon.
No, not at all. I think Chef Mickey's is fantastic for the characters, but leaves a lot to be desired. So yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And there's still a lot left, not that you haven't done there. It's one of the only places on property that you can just go get your nails done. It's not a proper spa, but it is like a nail salon right by the pool. So I think
you can rent bicycles. I'm pretty sure you can rent bicycles there.
Yeah, you can rent bicycles there to the right behind Geyser Point. There's the Surrey Bikes and their bicycle rental.
And we mentioned it's out 2 DVC properties. They also have like a DVC type lounge on property, which is cool.
Yeah.
If you are at the Disney Vacation Club or one of rent points. And one of the magical things we didn't mention when I mentioned it, and you're probably getting to it, is it might be the only standard view on property where you can view fireworks. Because you can request, not request, but if you can, which will face you towards Magic Kingdom. And if you're lucky enough to be elevated to one of the higher floors, you might actually be able to see the fireworks from the Magic Kingdom from a standard view room.
Yeah, that's an underrated tip right there.
Let's delete that. We don't need to be letting that get out into the stratosphere.
But and then you're one of the few properties resorts on property that you can rent boats as well. They have that dock, they have the fishing charters added there. To me, it makes me feel like the most like you're not at Disney. Of all the resorts on property, it feels like the least, even though there's the Disney, there's so much Disney involved in it. It feels like you're just so immersed in non-Disney. And again, that's not necessarily a great thing, because when you go to Disney, you definitely want Disney. But they have these totem poles that are carved that are just beautiful, huge totem poles that have your favorite characters in it on these totem poles right there. The shopping's awesome. Everything I love. Animal Kingdom Lodge, I just absolutely love it. So for me, at the time of filming, it's my number one spot.
You just said Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Wilderness Lodge, excuse me. I was reading down my list again.
Freudian slip. We know how you really feel, Eric. Yes, for all those reasons, Wilderness Lodge is amazing. I mean, they're all amazing. I think we're gonna miss so many good ones, and I really think we would be doing an injustice if we didn't just have a literal 3-episode series, which is covering each of the different levels of resorts and just going through all of the resorts.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Deluxe, moderate, value, and then a 4th episode, which is specifically for the campground, because although they call it a moderate, because you have the cabin. I really don't think that you can't stereotype the campground. It has so much going on. So let's put that aside. Let's put that aside. Mental note to ourselves. Maybe our next few episodes we can get into more resorts.
There you go.
If that's what we should talk about.
I like it. The resort series coming at you soon.
Fantastic. Yes. Gettin Goofy series.
Why don't you tell us why the Polynesian is your favorite resort?
Wait, how does it go? If you had to pick a favorite resort, and why would it be the Polynesian? Tell us why, and why would it be the Polynesian? Is that
exactly? Yeah.
Guilty. So for me, the Polynesian also holds a special place. When I was really young, my family we just didn't stay at places like the Polynesian. I think asking to spend the kind of money it takes to stay at the Polynesian is a chore in itself. But I was fortunate enough to go there and eat at one of the restaurants. And to be frank, I don't even remember what restaurant it was. I remember I got a mile-high stack of banana pancakes, which I think they call the tongue. I don't know what they call it. Anyway, Tonga toast maybe. I got that, but I got this towel from the Polynesian. And it was actually, it may be foreshadowing of how we got here, which is funny because Gettin Goofy, the name was your idea. It was a Polynesian towel with the big kahuna of Goofy.
Yeah.
With Mickey Mouse and friends under. And I had that towel. I was, even into my teen, I was a young boy when I had that towel, but even into my teen years, everyone's surfing and has all their Quicksilver and Hurley and reef towels, and I still have this Disney towel that I'm rocking at surf contests because it was my favorite towel. It was my favorite towel for like 10 years, and awesome. Really just something I remember that I'll always remember. But as we talk about just the Polynesian, there's something about the Polynesian for me, and it has to do with the name and the theming. When you step into the Grand Floridian, I talked about stepping into this days of past. When you go to Wilderness Lodge, you feel like you're in the Pacific Northwest. Disney just does such a wonderful job of theming things. For me, I have a relatively high stress job in my daily life, and I think about work a lot. I think about family a lot. I'm pretty high strung as an individual. Eric knows me. He knows I'm high strung. I worry about things I shouldn't worry about. Stepping, you walk into the sliding glass doors, and I feel like I'm stepping into a Polynesian island, whether it be Hawaii, Indonesia, some of the other, Tabru, some of the other Polynesian islands that, and I've never been to those. So, well, I've been to Hawaii. I used to live in Hawaii, but when I talk about, out of the country, Polynesian islands, you walk in and you just get this sense of calm and this sense of I'm on vacation. You get a lei when you check in. The place smells tropical. You walk in, you're in this almost rock walkway type lobby.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very much dark, rich woods, like you would see in a tropical place, where these dark, rich woods are the theme of the buildings. And you walk in, and everyone's very welcoming and fantastic food. You've got ohana, you've got the coffee bar, you've got Trader Sam's, Kona Cafe. The Spirit of Aloha dinner, which I haven't done that dinner show, and we were going to when we were supposed to go back in May. It was going to be my treat, and we were going to, all 14 of us were going to go to the Spirit of Aloha dinner. So we'll have to make that one up sooner rather than later. The pool there is second to none. 3 slides, one for the very small children, one for the kind of toddler swimming range, and then the bigger slide that goes into the main pool. The bar restaurant out by the pool. Obviously the view of Magic Kingdom and the fireworks show. The list goes on and on for me, but really, I don't know, the theme, I don't know if you picked up on my favorite resorts. Although all those things are great, it's kind of the theming of the resorts that gets me and kind of gets me in that headspace of where I want to be on vacation. And so if we go back to the Wilderness Lodge, like I mentioned, the Pacific Northwest, Grand Floridian, stepping into the days of old, and the Polynesian, I really feel like I'm stepping into a vacation. I'm stepping into a place where I can just forget about it. And even when I'm not staying at the Polynesian, it's crazy. We'll be staying somewhere else. Maybe we're at the Contemporary, maybe we're at the Yacht Club, maybe we're at Fort Wilderness, cruise by the Polynesian to stop by Trader Sam's or Ohana to get a drink at the lounge. And for the time we're there, I feel like I'm stepping into vacation, and it just does that for me.
It's always the one that you go back to, no matter where you're staying. It could be Old Key West, it could be Saratoga, it could be Port Orleans. Like if you're going to go to one resort just to like, hey, let's go do a little shopping, let's go, get a snack, let's go get a drink, it's almost always the Polynesian, because it's so classic. You go get a Dole Whip, which is such a classic. You get a nice cocktail, like you said. Even if you're not staying there, you walk in the lobby and they throw a lei on your neck. You walk in, you see the fountain, you see Shruggy. And now that I think about it, I think that's my thing. That's my thing. He's sitting there doing this. He's shrugging. You go see Shruggy. You go, the smell. I mentioned the smell of the Grand Floridian. I think the Poly's probably the best smelling lobby. The shopping's great. The theme is just, you hit every nail on the head. The bamboo, every aspect of it, they really make you feel like you're walking into the Polynesian, and it's something else. It really is cool. The beach there, the cabanas that someday would be awesome to stay at. But
and not to mention, I think when you say cabana, you mean the overwater bungalow,
right?
Bungalows.
So the bungalows.
We missed both. We didn't talk about either of those. At both the Wilderness Lodge and the Polynesian, they have the overwater bungalows, and they have the waterside cabins at Wilderness Lodge. I haven't digested the kind of money that it takes to stay on those properties for a given night. Rest assured, I'll do it. I will do it. I'll swallow it, and I'll do it one day. Because the bungalows, I think, have little tiny plunge pools in the back, like looking over the water.
And the cabins have a hot tub.
So just amazing. I mean, it's amazing. You talk about, I think in one of our previous episodes, we talked about how the food has evolved over the last 10-year period. What about even the resorts over the last 15 years? I mean, it's funny because like the Beach Club has just been killing it. The Beach Club and the Yacht Club have just been killing it forever. Grand Floridian's been killing it forever. The Polynesian is one of the original resorts. It was old. It was not dilapidated. I think it's always done a good job with the theming. Mm-hmm. But man, did they make it better when they redid the pool back in 2015, maybe 2014. I can't remember the exact year. I'm not one of those that has like the exact date. Like, no, it was this day. But just what a great job. And Wilderness Lodge, the same.
Yeah, and they make sure that the renovations that they're going to do, they're not going to have to renovate it again.
Because they just nailed it the first time. Just keep it up.
Yeah. Like I was saying, they make sure that when they renovate, they're not going to have to renovate again for 25 years, because they made them so advanced that they're just ready for, they're futuristic now. And even though it's not futuristic per se, it has all the possible features and amenities you could want in a resort. So yeah, I don't think you can argue with either one of ours. They're probably the two, they have the two newest additions as far as like the cabins and the bungalows go. So maybe it was kind of serendipitous that was our number ones, that someday my family will have to suck up the cost and get a cabin, to do a bungalow, and we'll split trips.
I have a feeling we'll be doing that together.
Yeah.
But I agree. And there are so many good properties. I think for me, obviously, it comes down to location, theming. There are some very beloved properties. For me, they're less beloved because of their location that we didn't even get to talk about. Old Key West, Saratoga Springs, some of the moderate resorts, especially with some of the additions to the moderate resorts. And the recent history. So we'll have to do an episode on them. Yeah, definitely. But man, I could talk about it all night, but those are the three that kind of get my juices flowing. We're talking about where do you want to stay. Those are the first three I check pretty much, unless it's Christmas time, then I check.
A little bit different. I mean, these are my, let's call them my like summer go-tos, not the holidays, because Christmas
Game changer.
Yeah. But, I'm curious what you guys think. I'm curious. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And also, if you want to follow us on social media, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at pick your social media /Radio Goofy. So yeah, if you want to give us a follow there, we like to post there and put some opinions and polls and pictures of the family and kind of what's going on with us and what's going on at Disney. So yeah, again, if you like this video, let us know about it. And Steph, sign us off.
Yeah, I think, as far as it's hard, as hard as it is sometimes to get away from the real world and back away and get away from this COVID-19 stuff and get away from these recent events, I need you guys to continue to remember that it is important to keep having fun and getting goofy. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Have a good one.